Using a green screen can be a great choice for e-learning videos due to the fact you can add any background in post-production afterwards, and it makes it easier if you want to add graphics and annotations to highlight certain points throughout the video. Obviously, make sure the presenter is not wearing green and position the presenter not too close to the green screen to minimize any shadows from the lighting. You can then key out the green and add your chosen background image in your video editing software afterwards. When you're ready, continue on to the next part of the video to view a screencast on working with your green screen footage. So here I'll show you my workflow when using footage filmed on the green screen. Firstly, we want to add the Ultra Key effect to our clip. So we'll go to Effects, type Ultra Key or Ultra. Here we have it. Now we'll drag the Ultra Key effect onto the clip. We'll go over to the effect controls, scroll down, then select the key color picker and select the green close to the subject. As you can see, the lighting wasn't the best here because we have shadows in either side. It's just because it was such a cramped room, I was stood too close to the green screen, but it's okay, we'll key it out anyway. So we'll select the green here. Then I usually like to select aggressive as the setting. So as you can see, we've keyed out that green. Now we just have to remove the rest of the frame. So we'll create what is known as a garbage matte. We'll go up to the opacity for the layer. Select the free draw tool and just click around here to remove the rest of the frame. Here. Now we'll just touch up the key we've created, so we'll go over to the effect controls, scroll down to the Ultra Key effect, and change the output from composite to alpha channel. The alpha channel shows you the mask of what is being keyed out, so everything in white will stay and everything in black will be removed. We are wanting pure white and pure black. Anything grey or a white-black gradient will not be keyed correctly, as you can see here. So our job now is to remove this grey, this black and white gradient. So the best way to do that is to go over to the matte generation here, and the main two settings you want to look at are pedestal and shadow. So we'll adjust the pedestal first. As you can see, it's starting to remove that grey. We still have a bit here and a bit here. So now we'll go to the shadow, adjust this. So you can now see we've got a nice key here. I'm the subject, myself, are all in white and the background is black. So now we want to clean up the matte. So firstly, I will change this back, the output back to composite and zoom in so we get a closer look. Now if you look over here on the left hand side under matte cleanup, this is to remove a green line around your subject which may appear when using green screen footage by adjusting the choke and soften settings here. So if you look at the choke first, as you can see it's bringing the edges in. I'll just undo that, and softens those edges. You might be able to see. So I'll just raise that slightly to 15. So the next setting we want to look at is the spill suppression to remove any green on the subject's face which may have reflected off the green screen when filming. So I'm going to zoom in again. If you look over here on the left hand side, the spill suppression. And if you do notice any green, you can play about with the settings here, including the desaturation. I will just undo that for now because it looks fine. Now we've keyed out our footage, the next step is to add the background. So as you can see, I've imported it into my project already. So what we'll do here, we'll move the video footage up to the layer above and drag the background image underneath. Drag it out so it matches the length of the footage, and we'll adjust the settings here so it's the correct size. Now, one tip is to add a slight blur to make the background look less artificial, because when you're filming, the subject is usually in focus and the background out of focus. So I'll go over to the effects, search for blur. I'm going to select the camera blur here, drag that onto the background layer. Go over to the effects controls. As you can see, it's already blurred. There's a little bit too much there, so we'll just bring that down under the percent. So let's try 10. Maybe a bit less, let's try 5. There, I think that looks good. So you can see it looks a lot less artificial now that we've added the blur. So before we start any editing, I would suggest to do the color correction now on either the background or the footage itself. And then once you've done your color correction and you've got the footage looking how you want it, then you can go on and go ahead and edit it. Okay, so now we can go through and edit and make our cuts. Following on from the previous video, we can follow that 4K technique. So as this is 4K footage, we can scale up the cuts so it looks like a multi-camera setup. So I'll go through here, make a cut there, and I'll just make a cut here. So I want to scale up this section we've just edited to make it look like a close-up, and as we said, as it's 4K, we won't be losing any quality when we scale this up. So I'll scale it up slightly, move it down. And one thing to remember when you're working with an artificial background like this, and you want to use the scale up technique like this to make it look like a close-up, you have to also scale up the background to make it look real. So scale this up as well. Then I'll just render this and play it through. So as you can see, it's important to scale that background up so the background matches the video itself. So go through, make all your edits, and once you're done, export out as normal.